So I'm home from work, and it's late. I get that it's late. I get the people on the East Coast are going to be like, are you serious? The hockey guy's posting now? Now? He's posting now. He's posting now. And now he's wasting time mocking us. Anyways, tonight's hockey needs to be talked about. And I really, really regret missing it. I regret working and missing it. But it's nice to get a little extra money. Colorado beats the Rangers 4-2. I'm going to go through these in order. So Colorado goes into New York and beats the Rangers at home. So Benajad scores 2, but Duchesne with a goal and an assist tonight. That's key. If Matt Duchesne came out to play and Varlamov with 37 saves, guess what? Colorado may be a dark horse. None of us picked him. Wouldn't that be a story? Montreal wins a shootout over Buffalo. Pacioretty with a goal. Dano with a goal. Pominville with 2. So, you feel good story right there. Jason Pominville's first game back in Buffalo, and he gets 2 goals. They get a point, so it's not a loss per se, because it was a shootout. Boston beats Nashville. Shocking to me, and I mean that. In that, I really thought with Bergeron and Backes out that Boston would not be able to keep up with whatever Nashville threw at them. I was wrong. First goals for Charlie McAvoy, who I really hope wins the Calder. But I'm biased, so I didn't pick him to win the Calder. I picked a guy I'm going to talk about later. Jake DeBrusk with a goal. And after DeBrusk scored that goal, his dad was seen crying in the crowd. So good for Louis. Good for Jake. And let's hope that that's the start of a beautiful relationship between the Bruins and the DeBrusk family. Detroit. Mantha, Larkin, Zetterberg, and Ferk. 37 saves by Jimmy Howard. And they beat Minnesota 4-2. That's kind of a surprise. But new building, psyched up team, everybody's excited. And it's natural that you'd see Detroit come up with a really big game. And Larkin is a bounce back candidate for a lot of people. Ottawa blew a lead tonight. And they blew a lead big time against the Ovechkins. Ovechkin has been maligned a lot. And I have not written him off, but I certainly didn't have him in the conversation when I talked about my favorites to win the Rocket Richard Trophy. I figured he'd score probably about the same amount of goals as last year, probably 30 to 35. Hat trick tonight. Hat trick. So while we all talk about Connor McDavid last night, you have to give props to Ovechkin tonight. Ovechkin is still capable. Washington won the game 5-4. Shootout again. So there's that. So fantastic game. What happened to Pittsburgh? 10. The only time I'm used to seeing 10 in sports is when Ty Dillinger's hitting the ring. And I think Ty Dillinger was playing for Chicago tonight, or maybe he was coaching them and yelling 10 from behind the bench, and they went out and got 10. It's the only explanation I can get. Saad with the hat trick. Schmaltz with 2. Kane. Sharp. Panic. Hartman. Seabrook. Hartman with 5 points. Antti Niemi started the game. Oh, Pittsburgh. I mean this. Niemi was brutal in Dallas. And after last season, every time I talked about Dallas's goaltending, people would pop up and say, well, it was their defense too. And in their... And from their perspective, they're right. Dallas's defense last year was suspect. But the goaltenders weren't making the saves. And Niemi goes to Pittsburgh, and everybody's like, well, he'll be back up, it'll be fine. And yet, there's a part of me saying, probably not. But I've towed the line. And I'll still toe the line and still say, well, it's just one game, it's not a big deal. But if he was still in a Dallas jersey and this happened, if this was a game Dallas played and they had just lost 10-1, and goaltending was the reason that this all fell apart at the start of the game, 5-0 Chicago after 1, I'd be absolutely terrified as a Dallas fan right now. Now, Pittsburgh losing their first 2 games, not a big deal. It's Pittsburgh. They've won back-to-back Stanley Cups. They're good. There's an article here on TSN, Panic Time in Pittsburgh, ? No, absolutely not. You've got some of the best players in the league, and you've got a supporting cast that's damn good. They've just had a bad run of luck. The game against St. Louis last night was rough, and then tonight's game is just a debacle. Absolute, complete, and total debacle. Speaking of which, Louis Domingue played tonight for Arizona. 36 saves on 41 shots, but ultimately Anaheim comes back and wins the game, and it's too bad because Clayton Keller scored a goal. So Keller scores in his debut. Perry with 2 goals. So Corey Perry's doing what he has to early on in the season to reclaim his status as a goal scorer. And we'll see what happens. The Kings shut out Philly. Props to Philly that Neuwirth was in net and he made 25 saves on 27 shots. This is not his fault. At least I think it was 27. Let me take a look at the game page and make sure that goal in the third isn't an empty netter. And I didn't check to see if any of those Chicago goals were empty netters. I assume at least 8 of them were. As in there's nobody in there. So I'm just going to wait until this loads. I just want to make sure. Because, you know, that road trip through California, it can be brutal. No, I don't see that it's an empty netter. So, yeah, 27 shots, 2 goals against. So, a bit of a rough night. They had a big emotional game last night against San Jose. And now tonight, they go into LA. And the Kings are never fun to play against, even when they're not that great. LA at home is really good, and they're trying to bounce back. So, tonight's a good bounce back for the Kings to start the season. Excuse me. We'll see what happens from here. What happened to Pittsburgh is the question. How bad is it going to get for these guys? Maybe they should have brought Yager back. Because losing at home to St. Louis and then going into Chicago and getting just absolutely spanked. Pittsburgh's known for firing coaches mid-season, so Sullivan's got to get it together. Because they've twice fired coaches mid-season and seen it pay off. So we'll see what happens from here. But you guys can let me know what you think in the comment section below. Which result surprises you the most? In terms of surprises, I'm not surprised necessarily Chicago won. I'm surprised by the score. I had expected a defensive matchup. I was wrong. I would say Colorado surprised me tonight. And, you know, now we're truly in a league where parity rules because it's October. Let me know what you guys think. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.